Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for WCG 2019 Xi'an. My name's Sherber. I'm here with Lyrical, and that means we're here for DOTA 2 to kick off day 2.
I can't wait. It's exciting. Black Sheep is back. Oh, we're going to have to hope for something good this time.
We do. The first match is going to be Black Sheep. We'll be covering that in detail in a little bit, but the team from the U.S. needs a lot of help right now, so if you're tuning in right now, especially from the States, don't go away and stay. It's just a best of one, so that's what you got to focus on. Just got to cheer them on. But so far, we've had one day of WCG. Obviously, yesterday, we had a couple schedule changes, etc. Today should be smoother. We've ironed some things out, and we're also on a different stage. Yesterday, you and I were on the main stage, and today, where are we?
We are on the game sports stage, Chobra.
We've truly gone beyond the game.
We've ascended,
and we're now more than sports. So now this is game sports. So we're here for the game sports stage. We'll have, I believe, 2 games of Dota 2 back-to-back, and then a couple others going on in the tournament zone as well that should be covered. But again, I mean, it's round robin. There should be plenty of games, and then we move into the knockout stage tomorrow. And there have been a couple interesting results. We didn't get to catch all the games live, but the results kind of speak for themselves.
I think so. You know, I was coming in here expecting to just see CDEC dominate everybody, but they're ending day number 1, 2, and 2. Spoiler alert, they lost a couple games yesterday. The one game that we got to see them on the main stage, they completely wiped the floor of Black Sheep, but then later on, they ended up losing to a couple of teams, didn't really see it coming in, but one of the big ones that they lost to is Newbee. And this is a team that, I mean, Newbee didn't even make it into the playoffs of the TI9 qualifiers. Right. They really stepped their game up the last couple days.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot, right? CDEC obviously kind of closely not able to make it into TI, but then Newbee coming in, and they've kind of reformed, it seems, and going for the win here at WCG. We're looking at WCG overall. It is 4 days of games, and it's not just Dota 2. Plenty of other games going on as well. So if you're watching all the different streams, you can tune into the Twitch team page and try to catch all of them. We are at the exhibition center, and there's actually 34 countries being represented, so that's quite a bit.
Wow, that's a crazy amount. I mean, I guess it makes sense. You've got all of these different titles here, Crash Royale, Hearthstone, all of these different games that are being represented, all of the different countries, and literally right in front of us, you can see just a field of people playing video games. It's ridiculous. And then there's also like a bunch of casters that are over there as well. On the
We're
other
actually
side
just looking at Tastosis, who's got StarCraft, and they're motioning to the other casters as well. So a lot going on, but we are here to cover Dota 2. We went over the rules yesterday, but we'll remind you, if you're just tuning in today, it is all best of 1 during the group stage. So it's round robin. You only play each other once, and that's very important, because if there's a tie in the win-loss, then it's going to be the head-to-head record that comes into play. So for instance, CDEC having lost to Newbee, that's not so good for them. That's now going to count against them if they ever have to go into a tiebreak.
It's true, and sitting at 2-2, that could very likely actually happen, which would sort of be a huge upset for a lot of these other teams being able to come in and knock them out. And maybe a good way to do it here would be Black Sheep. I mean, I think that right now Newbee is almost for sure through. It would take a lot of things to go wrong.
Yes.
For them to not be able to move on. But Black Sheep, this is boom or bust time. This is make it or break it. To pick whatever little phrase you want. It's looking rough.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, Newbee on the other side, that's the first match coming up, they can be a little bit lax, right? They're 4-0 right now, and you only play 7 games in the group stage, so barring any sort of like freak stat going on, they should be through. Maybe not in first place, but they should get through to the knockout stage.
Are we just doing like the biggest caster curse ever right now? Is that what's about to happen? They're going to lose like all their matches.
Because I'm thinking about the matchups, and since they've already beat out like CDEC and a couple of the other teams, like, they should be okay. But
they should be okay.
We've said that
guaranteed.
Before. Okay, that was not out of my. That was all in. I'm not sticking my foot in that one. But it's going to be 4-0 Newbee going up against Black Sheep. It looks like the players are getting ready for the match. Again, this means a lot for Black Sheep, because here's the thing. They can win this match, and that still doesn't really mean anything other than that they're like barely alive. And so this is just to have hope that they can really continue on to the knockout stage here at WCG. You see Black Sheep coming in with the U.S. flag. Of course, Newbee with the Chinese flag. Every team at WCG is out. They're trying to figure out the handshake.
Okay.
All right. They're going to say hi.
Well, you're trying to figure it out. Waxy, come on, get it together, man. What you doing?
Waxy didn't quite get the handshake order there, but I guess they're just going to keep their flags right now.
This is my flag.
Oh, man. I mean, I feel like these teams have done this several times yesterday, too. So.
It's true. It's the new stage, the new stage meta. It causes problems.
Yeah, there we go. We have Newbee going into their booth, of course. Lots of familiar faces here. And then Black Sheep Some faces that you might be familiar with, others maybe you're only familiar with their names. But again, as I was saying, every team has to be represented by players from their country or their district, depending on how it's qualified. So you have to have a citizenship from that region. And that changes things up a little bit. That's why we've seen some teams come in with maybe a couple roster changes. But then, for instance, a lot of times Chinese teams generally are made up of all Chinese players, so it doesn't affect them as much.
It's true. And you look at Newbee, it's a team that's been together this entire year pretty much. There have been a couple of minor changes, but it stayed an all-Chinese roster. Most notably was Mugi getting dropped out of it. And now they have Gia, who is brought up from one of the B squads as well. So it's still a roster that right now should be coming in as one of the favorites. Black Sheep, on the other hand, a sort of mix and matching of Tier 2 North American pro players or, sort of semi-pro players as well. I think that they still got, a lot of talent in this roster, but they're going to need to come out with something funky in the draft to make it work.
Well, we saw them have some ideas yesterday, right? And the ideas seemed to be pretty interesting in theory, and the execution was just a little bit tough against Xi'an in their first match of the tournament. But on the other side, it's going to be Newbee, and like you said, we have Awen Waxi, Maydek, SCCC, and Fenrir in the booth.
Obviously, I would say that Fenrir and SCCC are the two most notable players from this roster. They also have a coach, Banana. I'm not sure if he's in there with the booth. I'm not seeing him right now. But nonetheless, still a very well-known roster. And I think that SCCC was he blew up to such incredible stardom in around that TI7 era. And I think that everybody remembers that moment in True Sight where you just see SCCC looking down at Liquid, raising the Aegis. And you had to feel like this guy's coming back. And it's been a rough year for them. They're trying to get their feet back under him.
Yeah, well, we were talking about this, and SCCC, I think almost everyone who's watched him play on any stage can agree that he's just so charismatic, right? Both on the ups and the downs. He just has so much emotion. And a lot of times that's hard for players to express, especially when they're in the heat of things, but he's got it, man.
I mean, when you're passionate about a game, when you care as much as this guy does, it's naturally going to come out of you. It has to happen. And luckily enough, we're starting to get to the point where player cams are always there, so make sure they get the feeling. Because that's something that happens in Dota, right? A lot of times the ending, you know what's going to happen in the last couple of minutes, but there's those moments in the middle of the game where really you can feel the turn, and that's when SCCC, his face lights up and he starts jumping up, and he's probably going to punch a hole through the window.
Through the window, that's a little risky, but we'll see. But I've seen a lot of different games. I've covered a lot of different games, and Dota's definitely one where the passion seems to just be a lot more natural for the players, and it's always so exciting to see. And right now, I do want to remind everyone, it's about 10 a.m. on a Friday, so it's a weekday, and we still got people starting to file in. Of course, it's still early on. Yesterday, the crowd did fill out towards the afternoon. I'm hoping the same for today, and of course, over the weekend, it should be jam-packed.
I think they literally just opened the doors.
Yeah, I think we opened the doors a little bit later today just to make sure that everything's fine, that the tech's all been run through, and we want to make sure that the players are able to play in their element. It is a little early. Rub your eyes. There you go.
He's going to get there. Look at that logo, though. That logo is... What is that face? That's amazing. But yeah, the logo's really cool there on the Newbee one.
Of course, yeah, Newbee with the logo. It's always been kind of a standout icon for them. There's Bloody9 who had a rough game yesterday against Xi'an. That's the only one we watched, but it was not a fun one.
He got fed to the wolves as a lion. It happens, man. Position 5 life. That's what happens. I didn't actually get to see how many stats it was, but I felt like he was dying once a minute in that game.
I would say it was pretty close, yeah. I mean, Xi'an just knew exactly what they wanted, right? They just wanted to catch Bloody9 out, both because he was the easiest target, but also that line was so crucial to the lineup that Black Sheep had, and the idea they had of kind of targeting that Morphling.
Definitely. And I think that was a trap that they fell into a little bit in that last game, right? You saw the opening. We were looking at the game right before the broadcast started, and it was a Centaur, and then they opened up Ember Spirit immediately afterwards into Magnus. And I think that just it's a little bit too greedy, and then they had to switch it up and resolve the issue with the Morphling, and then the whole draft kind of got all wonky and weird, and then they had position 3 Mag, and it didn't all work. They need to sort of go back to basics, stick with something that works, and go through it throughout the whole draft.
All right, well, it looks like the lobby's kicking off just now, so we'll be going into the draft. It looks like we will have Black Sheep on Dire with first pick, and it's going to be Newbee on Radiant.
Amazing. Well, first pick on Dire. Kind of an interesting little dynamic there. So this oftentimes is what you'll see from Newbee is they end up wanting to save that last pick for SCCC. But oftentimes that also means that this is... That's what I think Newbee would want more often than not as second pick, but they would also probably want Radiant. So both teams kind of getting what they want here, it looks like.
All right, well, the first man, and we talked about this, you were mentioning a little bit that Black Sheep probably better off than today, sticking with what they want and what they know.
I would say building a strategy that sort of resolves the lane issues first and foremost.
Okay.
Because it felt like they were building a strategy that was aimed at the late game. Then that Undying pick came out and he just ran around the map and killed everybody. Indeed. Need to resolve the lanes first. But then again, these are all very experienced players, captains. They know what they're doing.
Of course. And you were mentioning about the coach earlier. I do believe the WCG rulebook says that coaches aren't allowed in the booth for this tournament. So I think that's why we're not seeing them on stage even during the draft.
We need Banana in there. We need the Banana Man.
Well, they're on their own for today and this weekend. We'll see. It looks like the band's pretty similar for Black Sheep. The Morphling band coming out from Newbee.
Yeah.
So that's out of the question now.
That signals to me that they just feel like that hero is so ridiculously strong that it's not worth giving away.
And the Ember first pick for Black Sheep. We figure that's going to Sammy Boy again?
Most likely. I mean, there's always that versatility where you can run it in the safe lane. But I think it's just something that he's also very comfortable on. And I think that more often than not, if you're picking this hero to be versatile, I just in general, I'm not sure how good Ember Spirit is if it's first pick material because of the nerfs that it's received. The Sleight of Fist no longer being able to be used while he's rooted. It makes it tough.
All right, well, Bane, and it's going to be...
Yeah. So this lineup basically says now this Ember Spirit is not going to have a good game. The Silencer is going to be there to try and protect it a little bit. I've been liking Silencers more often than not. What we've been seeing from them recently, sometimes you can leverage that into an Enigma pick a little bit later on, and then you can even cover like a Rubik later on, because you could go, just Enigma, Black Hole, Global immediately afterwards. Rubik can't steal the Black Hole, and you win the team fight off of that.
All right.
5 seconds remaining.
But Black Sheep seems like, I just don't want to see them make the same mistake they did yesterday, right? Where they start the draft and then they're like, all right, now we got to work around it again.
Right.
And still kind of just stick with what you know and just show us what you got in game at that point, really.
Yeah. Silencer does make a lot of team fights easier, which is one thing that's definitely nice, but it does also bring up some problems maybe with the laning stage. I want to see how they try and resolve that, particularly because Bane is a very strong laner. Nyx Assassin can soak up a lot of damage, got really great base regen, decent armor, can buy a stout shield, that type of thing. But Bane is the real bully early.
All right, well, we're back in some bans, Monkey King, and then Lifestealer being banned out as well.
Oftentimes what you'd see is a Lifestealer and Fest Bomb with the Global, which is probably what they're worried about there with the Lifestealer ban. And then Monkey King is just one of the heroes that really counters Ember Spirit in the laning stage. Another one that you sometimes see people go for is a Dazzle mid as an answer to Ember. It started to be seen a lot in TNN qualifiers, but I don't know if that's something that they'd be too worried about.
Yeah, maybe not ban-worthy. We'll see. Quap and Juggernaut out as well, and now we're waiting for Newbee's next pick.
So with this next one, you're likely just going to be needing your position 3 here, and they go for the Darkseer.
We've been talking a lot about Darkseer this week, Lyrical.
He's my hero, man. I spam this guy. He's so much fun, and I think the cool thing, he actually got another round of nerfs in the last patch,
right?
To his actual base kit. But the buff that he got that people aren't really talking about as much is that they allowed it so you can't build double Stout Shield. So a lot of heroes were doing a Darkseer cosplay where they'd buy double Stout Shield and then try and eat the wave. Darkseer is now one of the few heroes that can actually do that consistently because everybody else had that ability nerfed from them.
Right. So it's a relativity thing where Darkseer now stands out once again.
Exactly.
He can do his own thing. We'll see if it works out for Newbee.
This does allow Black Sheep to pick a more greedy safe laner, potentially.
Okay.
With Nyx Assassin, it's maybe a little bit scary because you could dive tower with it, but you could pick something here like a troll, maybe, try and farm underneath the tower. That's one of the ways that you can go, or go for, I guess Morphling Band is maybe one of the reasons that they took that out as well, because Morphling oftentimes doesn't have a problem farming underneath the tower.
There you go. Well, Black Sheep going for Shadow Demon.
I really wanted this from them yesterday, and I think that it's still quite good here.
Okay.
But now I'm worried about the lack of control on this lineup.
All right. Well, Slark coming out for Newbee. I mean, what is Black Sheep? Are we still looking for that core that Black Sheep wants to pick up?
Yeah, something good against the Slark now. Something that can deal with the Darkseer if he wants to get a little bit more aggro on it. He can cut waves still, but he could also play a little bit more aggressive with the Nyx Assassin. So both of those heroes, Lifestealer and Jug, are ones that deal quite well with the Darkseer, which is why you see those banned out. As far as other ones that could run with it, I still think that God, there's traditionally it'd be Void, but that hero's just so bad right now.
It's always a little tough. Black Sheep, I think they're thinking through the same list right now, and a lot of it, Newbee just seems to have been pretty preemptive.
I think you take your offlaner here, something that can deal with Slark.
The idea just being to secure that first because you're kind of at a loss anyway on the other side.
Yeah, and then that leaves you the flexibility where you can still run the Ember Spirit safe lane if you want to. Whereas if you pick your safe laner now, then that means that you're basically locked into whatever your last pick is.
Right.
I guess that they're going to sort of be that way anyway, since Newbee have the ultimate last pick.
Sure, but just a little bit of more breathing room for Black Sheep. We're talking through it right now. I think they realize the bind they're in, but we'll see what the final selection is going to be for the fourth pick. Doom. The Bloodseeker's back.
Okay.
They had the Bloodseeker yesterday.
That's a cool answer against the Slark. You're going to be under vision a lot of the time, which means that you can't get your passive working and try and just sneak away from the fight. So that was traditionally one of the answers for Bloodseeker as a way to hunt down the Slark. You also rupture him. You can't Dark Pack that off or anything. So it's a cool answer. They banned the Centaur. I still like the Doom for Black Sheep. It might be a little bit too single target focused, but a lot of this draft is all revolving around the Slark right now. Like Nyx Assassin, Bane, they don't necessarily scale super well damage-wise into the late game. It's a lot on the Slark. You doom him, you win the fight. You doom the Darkseer, you probably win the fight too.
Okay. All right, so going for that focus on one target or the other, Black Sheep, will they make that choice? Storm Spirit was the last man. They knew exactly what they wanted, and it's going to be Mars.
That's another cool answer. Partially because this draft relies upon surging away, and Arena of Blood makes that not happen, which is nifty.
Okay, so some cool ideas coming out again from Black Sheep. Yesterday we saw that as well. The execution was a little bit rougher, but do you think it's a bit of an easier time today?
10 seconds remaining.
I think so. It's a weird draft again. It's sort of not cooldown reliant, but then it is at the same time. It's like, I don't know. They need the Ember Spirit to have a really good game. That's going to be the key for them here. And if Ember is able to have a good matchup, then they should be fine. The problem is Newbee have a last pick here to counterpick. And that's something that I'd be a little bit worried about.
And what's the worst thing that could happen?
I mean, again, traditionally it would be a Huskar, but I don't think that that's as much of a worry here because that hero is also garbage. Storm would have been a very nice pick.
Right, the final ban from Black Sheep, just taking that out of the mix.
You could go Lina. That might be a decent way to deal with this.
Okay.
Although, again, that's another hero that's had pretty bad win rate recently.
Well, Newbee have made their choice. Oh!
SCCC Invoker. We got the camera on him. He's ready to go.
All right. Well, the lineups are good to go. I mean, at this point, are we still tipping the hat a little bit towards Newbee?
I can't go against SCCC Invoker. When this guy came on the field, it was all off the back of destroying evil geniuses with an SCCC Invoker, and he just he killed, I think, 8 of them in the space of about 4 minutes with this hero. He's very, very good on it. Well, the question is Invoker a good enough hero? Okay.
But, I mean, that could go either way, right? I feel like with Invoker, a lot of times it really just comes down to the player.
Well, it does, but his laning stage has also been kind of nerfed a little bit. He's been sort of changed around a little bit. He needs a lot of time to farm, so that's one issue that you can see with the Newbee lineup, is that a lot of their heroes need time to come online. Darkseer, he needs to get in some of those defensive teamfight items. Slark needs to pick up. We've been seeing a lot more of the Diffusal Blade recently, things like that. So on the side of Black Sheep, Ember needs to have a good game. On the side of Newbee, Nyx Assassin needs to get a lot done, Sunstrike kills.
All right, well, we're looking at the focus points right now. Is it going to be the Ember from Sammy Boy picking things up for Black Sheep? They desperately need this win against Newbee, who's undefeated. We're going into game right now.
Well, and as we head off across the map, you can see already throwing out the Sun Strikes. Just get a little bit of vision, and we're going to have the you-know-what's-cooking boom chance. I haven't seen the SCCC Invoker in a while. Part of the reason is just because that hero has not been seen all that much, but the other big part is that Newbee haven't been to a lot of tournaments recently, so it's cool to see them back online here.
Well, we do have Newbee on Radiant as a reminder, and it's going to be Black Sheep on Dire.
So as far as the lane setups, it looks like they want to start off putting Mars solo against the Slark, and Nyx Assassin up here too. They're going to contest for the runes and then probably rotate one down bottom, I would assume. And the Shadow Demon Mars lane is very cool.
30 seconds to battle.
Oh, check out the Beyond the Game shout out.
Oh, I didn't even see that. With the SpongeBob coming out, Beyond the Game.
I love it.
Well, more than sports here on the Game Sports stage in Xi'an. Black Sheep currently down 0-4. It's 0-4 versus 4-0 for Newbee as their record. Black Sheep just wants to stay alive. Just a couple of hits trying to make sure they secure that bounty.
The battle begins.
They'll get at least that one there. And bottom side, a little bit of a battle for the rune. It looks like they're able to steal it away. So 3 for 1, not a bad start.
All right. Yeah, it's Slark just
5. That's awesome.
I love it.
So I want to see how this mid matchup works out. Already taking that early point Exort. Some Invokers like to go for a Quas Wex build against the Ember Spirit, but now that Ember Spirit's been going for more points in Sleight of Fist, being able to dispel the Flame Guard isn't as big of a deal. So he's probably just going to try and harass out Sammy Boy, and Sammy Boy might try and go for some slight dodges as the time goes on.
All right, so perhaps a little bit of a tougher, more patient start for Sammy.
Yeah.
As we do see a 3v1 right now, and we do get the Banish coming out right away. Black Sheep trying to get some damage in, the teleport trying to come out, and it's going to be just in time.
Oh, he TP's all the way back home.
I mean, yesterday we saw TV escape just right back to the tower and coming back in lane, but this one's a lot of time lost for the Darkseer.
Yeah, and this is a nerf that he's gotten. The movement speed also has no points right now. Oh, this is why they do it, though. So the Nyx Assassin is going to pull the wave back behind the tower, and that makes sure that Darkseer doesn't miss too much of the experience. And then they basically wasted a bunch of mana, and he's able to come back in full HP and mana.
Okay. So seems pretty well prepared for that one. Works out all in the end. Now looking at Mars.
So one of the things that we got to watch for in this lane eventually is a rotation from the Shadow Demon if they want to make it happen. Disruption, and then afterwards Mars walks through the disruption and spears him back to the tower. Oftentimes it's a pretty easy kill setup.
All right, Sammy Boy pushing through just for those last hits. Still pretty early on, not too scared. Just some harass going back and forth.
And you can see there as well, Slark, he's pretty easy to find the pounce onto Mars, but the question is, can they actually find a kill?
And a good timing on that. The sign's coming out once again on the Darkseer. They're just making sure that he's not having a good time.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing, it looks like, though, is they are pulling this creep wave back, and it's a pretty large creep camp coming through to the top lane. DD picked up for Invoker. That should give him an easier time last hitting. He's already doing quite well against the Ember.
Keeping up just fine. We do see Yamson on that Bloodseeker again. Just being zoned out for a little bit for the time being.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about you can actually contest a little bit harder in this lane, and they're going to need to bring the Silencer down.
Oh, the pounce comes through. He's leashed in. Mars, can he get out? The Silencer comes through. A nice stun against the trees. He's out for now, but still not entirely safe. They're going to need to make sure the Silencer sticks with him. Bloody Nine going to be supporting DN on that bottom side.
And this is the part that starts to become a little bit scary against the Bloodseeker, and also the Shadow Demon, to be honest.
Okay, well, they're just trying to keep him at bay, but the Shadow Demon just has to run all the way back. Does dodge the stun.
Oh, a little unfortunate there. And the other nice part about this is that they didn't keep the aggro onto the creeps because the Nyx Assassin was hiding, so they miss a whole creep wave there.
All right, maybe a little bit too much commitment on that one. of course, it really just came down to that stun. They're able to get out of that one. And Mars gets caught again, but a nice stun against the tree. Good positioning, keeping an eye out for that one.
Yeah, at this point, they need the Dark Pack damage to find the kill on the Mars, so he just needs to wait for that to wear off, and then afterwards it's a pretty easy dodge just to throw the spear out, get that separation that you need. But this top lane, it's not going great for Darkseer, but it's also not terrible. He's getting what he needs, and that's the most important part. This is what this hero always gets you.
All right. Bloody Nine and Oceania on the side of Black Sheep, both trying to make sure that they keep vision of the enemy. They're both playing it safe for now.
So part of the reason that this Invoker game is so nice, in this one at least, is because he's got a bunch of really easy setups for Sunstrikes. Whether, it's the Nightmare coming from the Bane, or just a Nyx Assassin Impale following that one up. You have to be so careful on these side lanes, and Shadow Demon is going to be key to keeping the heroes alive, using the disruption and then making sure he doesn't get caught out. But in some trouble.
Oh, Shadow Demon does get dove under. It's the stun coming out, the banish, just to block out some damage. He's still alive, but Nyx Assassin is committed all the way through the trees. The teleport is going to be coming out in time. Yes, it should be. 2 hits left, but he gets out safely, and we do see Silencer coming back upside, and they're trying to get another silence so they can keep that Darkseer at bay. Not enough damage to kill him yet, though. Nyx Assassin running a little bit low on mana.
They got to be careful, though. That Ion Shell damage is so deadly at the early levels and can be a little bit hard to see as well, just the golden effect that they've got on the Immortal. Oh, mid lane.
Oh, nice meteor onto Sammy Boy. Sammy Boy is going to get out. Man, one more hit, and that would have been a secure with the stuns coming out. Darkseer just farming it up with the Ion Shell, and he's going to surge out of there.
Yep. So bounty runes 3 so far for Newbee. Not bad at all.
Okay, and Mars needs to watch out. D-Yun does get caught out. They're positioning Slark, just making sure that he's blocking out all those scared routes. It's going to go for the pounce. Nope, does dodge the stun. So they draw out the skill and should be good to go.
Yeah, and you can see the problem with all the pressure up top is that it's meant that Mars has to stay alone. Right now, he's got the same amount of last hits as the Bane. That's not where you want to be at this one.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Gia finds that kill onto him as well. The rotation.
Yeah, they were just waiting for it. We do see that the Nyx Assassin had come through to help. It's going to be Gia picking up that kill.
Yeah. And so they're going to bring over the Silencer to try and come and contest the Darkseer's farm. They know that since they left the Nyx Assassin, he's going to be a little bit more vulnerable. And again, so far, this Invoker's having a really good time. All the cores for Newbee are off to a great start, with probably the Slark being the one that's the furthest in the lead. After finding that kill and then also getting 15 denies on him.
Well, so far, I hate to say it, but I feel like it's a bit of a repeat of what we saw against CDEC for Black Sheep, where, they're able to keep the damage at bay a little bit on one side of the map, but it looks like they're going to go for a nice gank here in mid. The banish comes through, and we get the debuff going through. Sammy Boy tries to get the root. He goes for the damage, and the path is blocked, and they pick up the kill against SCCC.
Very well
stopping
done.
That train.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need to do, because it was what you were saying, right? Like, the game was starting to fall apart there, but, well, it might fall apart here, too.
Yeah, Mars, the target once again, 3v1. He's not going to get out of that one. The stun a little too late, and we do see Darkseer being harassed. Oh, Bloodseeker actually just going straight for the damage. The Iron Shell not enough, but he gets out in time.
That was close.
Nyx Assassin a little bit alone. That teleport was a second too late. They're blocking every pathway possible. The teleports are coming in. Newbee, can they support their teammates? The silence comes out. No stun for Nyx Assassin. And now they're changing targets. Invoker's the next one. SECC, is he cut out? The mini stun's coming out against Bloodseeker. Keeps him at bay. It's a 2v3, but it seems way too close for Black Sheep. And now it's going to be 4v2. They get 1, and they should get 2. Black Sheep turning things around.
Man, and then the tip onto SCC afterwards, feeling pretty good about themselves. Man, the rotation, it just came so quickly, and they thought this was all to try and keep this Tier 1 tower alive, and now it's going to drop because they have the catapult. Huge win for Black Sheep there.
Yeah, Black Sheep finally getting the moves they wanted. They caught up in gold quite a bit, but the real important part is they get that Tier 1. The map gets opened up a little bit in favor.
Yeah. Still, Newbee on a good roll. Their Slark is making moves. He's been able to shut down this Mars so significantly. He has his Midas already done here at 8 minutes. 8-minute Midas on Slark. This is going to be a terrifying Slark game.
Yeah, we got to keep an eye on that one. As time goes on, the Slark's just going to start rampaging through. Things are back to normal a little bit on the bottom side. Mars just has to wait patiently, but perhaps they're not going to give him that chance. pulling that creep wave to the side.
Most definitely.
Dire's
Uh-oh,
top
Nyx
tower is
Assassin
under
maybe a
attack.
little bit too deep. It's 3v1 once again. Shadow Demon blocking the route, but they're not going to commit. They don't have... Oh, Darkseer actually under the tower just farming up the wave. So you got to change targets. Darkseer just running all the way through.
They're
the
chasing
GC
them.
maze. They're committing. The teleport's coming out. It should go through. Mars, meanwhile, taking a bit of damage. Not going down just yet, but he's got to watch out. Slark could jump on him anytime.
That's like the 5th time that Darkseer's had to TP back to base. Not the 5th. What am I talking about? It's
Well, it's
a
been quite a
lot of
few.
times.
Yeah,
It
it's been
felt
quite a
like it's
few.
5. But you can see in terms of this net worth, not where the hero likes to be playing from behind. The bonus part you can say about this Darkseer is that he can throw Ion Shells on the Nyx Assassin. He can throw Ion Shells on the
Dire's
Slark,
bottom
surge him
tower
up, and
is
make
under
more kills
attack.
happen. So he's still going to have relevance in this game.
Scanning.
Yep, and Nyx Assassin now the target. They know that Darkseer has gone back, and they keep him stuck there with the Disruption. The Silence coming out as well, following up. He's trying to pour it out. A lot of damage coming through, and Oceania gets the kill on a killing spree.
He's making it happen. This is why Shadow Demon's such a good pick.
Yeah, meanwhile, the
Radiant's
level
middle
7
tower
Slark
is
coming
under
in
attack.
for that Mars, pouncing under the
Dire's
tower. Okay, a
bottom
nice little
tower
dodge
is
through the
under
trees,
attack.
but he's not out of it just yet. They're just back to square one. Slark's not giving up. He
Team?
really wants his skill.
Team?
Yeah, I mean, there's no calls here, but the spear coming out just to keep him at bay. No stun, but even with the stun, I don't think there could have been a lot of follow-up there.
No. No, it's still just one of those moments as an offlaner
Radiant's
where you're sitting there
middle
like,
tower is
hello?
under attack.
Does anybody see this guy?
A lonely world.
For the tweet.
But they can play really aggressive around the map now. You can see Sammy Boy just no regard for
Whoa.
anything. And, all
Radiant
right, there you go.
structures are
You know,
fortified.
Newbee just doesn't give up, right? They keep him at bay, and then we see Tian
Dire's
thinking that he can
bottom
come back,
tower is
maybe
under
farm a little
attack.
bit, a couple more last hits, but that's what costs him every time.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reality is there's nowhere else for this
Dire's
Mars
top
to go,
tower is
right?
under
He
attack.
can't really jungle. He has to just sit in a lane and try and stay alive to the best of his ability while the rest of his team makes space. And that's what they're doing, pressuring for the tier 1 tower mid. If they can get this for free, this is huge, but doesn't look like Newbee want to give it up.
Yeah, they're
Dire's
going
top
in.
tower
Nyx
is
lining
under
up for the
attack.
stun. He's waiting. Oh, the tier 1 does
Radiant's
go down.
middle tower has fallen.
That was so sick. The Flame Guard ran out. He wanted to go for the Vendetta hit.
And the Sunstrike coming in, as you said, the stun, but no follow-up. Nice disruption coming in for Shadow Demon just to keep them at bay. They keep the Silencer alive. They're actually chasing back through, but maybe not too deep because it looks like all teammates for Newbee showing up.
Man, really well done there. Sammy Boy knowing the limits of his hero. He does need to be careful about the Spike Carapace turnaround into a stun, which is what he was playing around earlier. But it's still one of those moments where if you can get away, get that tier 1 tower for free, like they're in such a good position. Even though they're behind in net worth, they have control of the map. This is bad, though.
Oh, yeah, Bloodseer gets caught out. It's a 3v1. No way out of this one. It looks like we do see another teleport coming in just to secure it. Actually, going to be a little too late. Sammy Boy comes in for the assistant. Sunstrike not going to get the snipe on that one.
Yeah, the extra movement speed he got from the Thirst as well as throwing out that Blood Right made him get away.
But it's going to be a trade-off.
All right.
All right, Sammy Boy. All right, listen, we can't make an excuse for that. a little too greedy. Lots of tips going out.
You gotta love the trash talk.
Newbee did not like the tip to SCCC earlier.
That's their boy. You can't tip my boy. What are you doing?
Oh man. But
yeah,
this is a different Black Sheep. We're seeing them a lot more confident now that they've had the lead on the towers. They know where they can go, and they've also kept a pretty good eye on Nyx until this point.
they have. And you can see that one of the
Dire's
biggest
top
things that this
tower
Nyx
is under
Assassin is going to be
attack.
looking to do this entire game
Radiant's
is
bottom
just
tower
kill the
is under
Ember.
attack.
3 points in Spike Carapace, 3 points in Impale. He just wants to get the Spike Carapace into Vendetta hit and then, Sunstrike Sammy Boy.
All right, Slark now switching over to the top side of the map, but it's a lot more than just Slark. Sammy Boy,
it's bad.
does he know? Nyx Assassin shows up. There's the Spike Carapace, and there's the Impale. They get the Sun. Slark pounces on right after. Sammy Boy, no exit.
2 quick kills, and that's the problem. We've seen some other
Dire's
Ember Spirits
top
be able to
tower
play
is
around
under
Nyx Assassin,
attack.
but we said in the draft, this is
Dire's
what Nyx needs to do. He
structures
needs to have a good
are
start, make moves around the map, get that kill in the Ember Spirit, and he's doing exactly what his team needs. 3,000 gold lead because of it.
Well, Black Sheep's coming into this one on the bot. Nice spear right before he gets out of range against that tree. That's a stun. Lots of damage coming through. They should be able to pick this up. No problem. Actually, could be a trade, but no, they're going to trade off the damage on the tower. They pick it up.
I mean, how depressing is that the Bane almost takes down the Mars while the 4-person gank comes through?
It was a little scary for a second, but definitely. Black Sheep knew what they were doing. They are just focused on the towers right now. They want to take out all the tier 1s, get a little bit more control, so they can make sure that Nyx probably isn't just hunting out that Ember Spirit.
That's what I was talking about. You give him the death hug. That's what you want to see. Darkseer has the Helm of the Dominator already done, so that's going to allow him to farm significantly faster, also get the side lanes pushed out without too much worry of getting picked off. And you can see that pressure along the top tier 2 tower that Darkseer is applying. Meanwhile, the counterplay coming from Black Sheep, they want to take over the Radiant jungle. Bane already placed an ward trying to deny that vision.
Yeah, I mean, they're just kind of trading places. That's something that we haven't been talking about, is that Darkseer quietly just constantly putting pressure. Bane does get caught out, puts to sleep on the Shadow Demon, but Nyx Assassin needs to come through.
Global used.
Okay.
And that's going to turn into a dead Shadow Demon.
Oh, and Shadow Demon gets caught out in between the trees. And Nyx gets a triple stun with that Impale, but the Arena of Blood comes out. Mars now in the thick of things. Oh, and the Meteor comes in a little too late. Invoker, just looking for the next kill. Slark got caught out. Newbee needs to be careful. Nyx still going through. Oh, nice spear. Keeps Nyx at bay, and Black Sheep now on the retreat.
Well done. I think that this should be the end of it. A very wonky, weird fight. Ember thinking about going back in here again. But, I mean, he's playing with fire. The plus side is he knows that there's no Bane right now, so he can play that much more aggressive. But it secures the retreat for the rest of his team. And Slark there, you saw the big problem. If he gets caught in that Arena of Blood, he needs to, like, pounce at the perfect angle so he can get high enough to jump out of it. But if it doesn't happen, then he just gets speared and killed.
Yeah, that was a good catch on the Slark. Of course, that made the fight quite a bit easier for Black Sheep.
And going for the Shadow Build Blade.
Just waiting for that. Oh, the Sunstrike! Barely misses.
Almost got him there. But yeah, tough stuff. And still Newbee with a 3,000 gold lead just by virtue of their farming around the map where they're at.
Yeah, I mean, we do have the lead on the towers for Black Sheep, but Newbee's been very efficient. And a lot of that is just that quiet pressure. I mean, we haven't seen Darkseer in quite some time, and it's because he's just pushing out.
Yeah, this is, even though you've seen Helm of the Dominator get nerfed over and over again, it's why it's still such a valuable item on Darkseer.
Dion, does he know? He saw the Nyx Assassin coming through, gets the spear onto the Slark. Can he get out of it? Is going to get stunned with the Impale. There's a Sunstrike, and that's just too much damage.
And you can see as well, the other plus side of having the Nyx Assassin there is it applies the break mechanic onto the Mars, lowering the survivability. Like, all of these things working together in concert. Uh-oh. Is this a dead Bloodseeker?
Uh-oh, yeah. I don't think he knew what was coming. The pounce and then the Impale. No escape for Bloodseeker. And that's another one. Same position. Newbee just waiting patiently for another kill.
Man, GG is feeling himself. He's having a heck of a game already. Did die earlier, but still sitting top of the net worth right now. About 1,400 gold ahead of the next highest opponent, which is that Bloodseeker. Curious if Bloodseeker's going to go back for the Radiance build again. It seems like it could be pretty good, but at the same time, maybe just going for like more survivability is the play to go for here, because the damage kind of caps up a little bit from Newbee if you can control and kill the Slark.
Well, will they have an answer for it, though? Slark's been quite active on the map. Meanwhile, Bane just looking for that Ace Rune. Does pick it up, but is it enough to get him out? Gets caught right away. The pounce comes through, and then the Sunstrike. Shadow Demon. Newbee turning things right around. Nyx Assassin going deep. The Arena of Blood comes out. Mars just going to exit. This is a 2v1 in that fight. Not the arena he was looking for.
Yeah, it was just all to try and secure the retreat. I mean, that's the thing that's so dangerous. But it also becomes a bit of a problem, right? Like, they have to play around Arena of Blood cooldown, they have to play around a Global Silence cooldown, and when those abilities are on cooldown, Newbee can just run at you. So it's likely what we're going to be seeing. Maybe they try and, you know, pressure the jungle here with the Nyx, go for another Sunstrike kill. Ember's still very gankable at this point in the game.
Yep, and Nyx is looking for it. You see it on the map. Nyx just creeping up.
Dire's middle tower
looking for that perfect moment. And he's just waiting. He's just waiting. Darkseer's showing up. Bane's coming. Ember Spirit's out, though. Where'd he go?
Oh, he just jumped away. That's one of those things, too, where it's like you want to go for the Flame Guard, Spike Carapace, and Impale, but it's just like if you don't have that extra hero, a Sunstrike isn't enough at this point.
Right. Yeah, I think he was just hoping that Darkseer was going to show up in time, but alas, they just chase him out of that lane, and they're going to push out the top side once again.
Oh, that's
another catch coming in from Black Sheep. And Slark does get caught out. He's still going to heal up just a little bit and then ports out.
Yeah. He did see the Shadow Demon coming in, so he knew the entire time that he could just pop ulti and then TP once he came out of the imprisonment. It only doesn't work if you get like a frame perfect, or a tick perfect actually,
right.
It doesn't run on frame rate hit onto it, which is basically impossible. So heads up play there from the Slark, forces out a couple ultis, TPs away, and now they can fight again.
Yep. Do see a nice impale into a Sunstrike. That's going to be a lot of damage, keeping them at bay. But the Arena Blood does catch one hero alone. It's going to be a fight. And Slark just Darkseer trying to stay alive, does get cut out in a 3v1 in the arena. And now it's going to be the Bane as the next target. Black Sheep, no mercy as they chase through Sammy Boy, picking up both kills.
Very well done. It looked like it was going to go bad for a second, and actually it still could, but be careful about the stomp.
Yeah, Slark comes in. He does get the pounce. The Meteor not going to hit. The leash is out, and a nice spear. Mars right on point with that timing.
Black Sheep making the moves that they need, and Nyx Assassin trying to find a cleanup kill here, but honestly, I don't think it's enough still. Sunstrike?
The Sunstrike? Okay, all right. Barely right at the edge. It's a little close. Silencer coming through, but the teleport should be out in time.
Man, heads up play there to make sure that they can get the Sunstrike kill as well. Didn't think that they were going to be there in time. But that makes some of it a little bit worth it. And you can see, even though there's so much action happening with the double Midas and Invoker just staying out of these fights, he's already gotten Ags with the Midas at 19 minutes. They're 6,000 gold ahead. Like, Newbee are playing this so well right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, the fights, Black Sheep's playing well, but the lead hasn't shifted at all. If anything, it's been growing slowly but surely for Newbee.
I mean, this is why it's such a good Invoker game, right? Like, because they've basically been playing 4v5, but the fifth hero for Newbee is that Sunstrike.
Yeah. All we've seen from him is that Sunstrike. Slark looking for another kill. A nice pounce onto Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon banishes himself just to buy some time, and we see teammates coming through on both sides. Mars, meanwhile, gets a catch onto the Arena of Blood, and we're going to see a trade-off on both teams.
Oh, nice pickup of the Invoker there. Now going to try and TP away. They get him the root.
Sammy Boy comes in with the root through the tree. Slark, no exit. 2 kills for Black Sheep.
Oh, that was so well done. And Newbee just overextending. They don't need to try and send those heroes out there. Like, Darkseer's not in the fight. He has a mechanism right now. Sit back farm. They wanted the bounty runes, but they get punished for it.
Yeah, I think Slark seemed a little bit over greedy, and then Invoker just got spear, not going to hit. Tried to predict the back off, but
happens to the best.
Yeah, no, just try to go for the best.
Oh no, he's going to leave Bloody Knight behind.
Oh no, they're going to leave each other behind. A nice double impale. They want that easy kill onto Bloody Knight. Can they get it? There's the wall coming out from Darkseer. Darkseer shows up. Meanwhile, Shadow Demon coming in for a bit of an assist. And Nyx Assassin being brought down pretty low. There's the impale for the escape.
Oh, another nightmare keeping him alive. Switch over.
All right, and Sammy Boy not going to catch him. The Sunstrike.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
Send that illusion after him. Get the illusion.
Oh my gosh.
That was super close.
Yeah. Close on both sides.
Yeah. Did they lose anybody? I guess just the Silencer. So in the end, Bloody Nine dies. Probably the best thing for the team there.
The sacrificial lamb once again. Pull it in clutch. I mean, with how it transpired, I would say, yeah, that's as best as they could have gotten.
Yeah. It was kind of cool seeing the Nightmare trade back and forth there, but in the end, one of them's probably going to die. It was lucky that they were able to get out with what they got. BKB finished on the Ember Spirit, so this is a pretty strong timing where basically Invoker does not do all that much to Ember Spirit unless you can chain lock him down, which they can with their lineup. You know, a Spike Carapace into an Impale, and then a Fiend's Grip afterwards. It doesn't matter if you have a BKB.
Okay, we're looking at an arena right now. Slark just waiting to try to get that kill, but now it's going to be a 3v1, so Slark's going to run away.
Yeah. They come a little bit too late with the detection there, trying to find the Slark, and they weren't able to get the kill. Immediately afterwards, you see that Mars buys some dust. If they would have had it, they might have been able to take him down there.
And Sammy Boy has just bottled up that DD rune, so looking for another fight.
Yeah. Could be a good moment to take it. Roche is probably on the docket relatively soon. You can see that it's kind of just the same play over and over again from Newbee. Send one of these Invis heroes into the jungle, try and find somebody. Sammy Boy, not an easy kill right here.
Oh, but Invoker's here. It's still 2v1. Is it enough, though? Nyx is just waiting for it. There's the Impale. There's the Sundering and the Meteor right away, but still a lot of damage needed. Sammy Boy just ticking off. One more in. Oh, and he gets out with the Remnant.
What in the heck? So they globaled for that. He pops BKB. actually needs to be a little bit careful still, because like you could hypothetically chase him down with the Darkseer, but he's going to TP back home. Really scary moment.
Yeah, barely alive with all that assist coming in from his teammates. But I mean, Newbee, they have the idea. That was a close one. They almost had him. Of course, the global helped quite a bit.
Definitely. And now you're getting to another nice timing here with Newbee. Having the Guardian Greaves done, Lincoln Sphere on the Slark means that he doesn't have to worry about the Rupture as much anymore. Or the Purge coming from the Shadow Demon, which is also really frustrating to deal with. The question is, do they feel like their lineup just scales better into the late game and they just keep on playing sort of pick off Dota and then farm up on SCCC? I feel like that's probably the play to go for, but they might still want to get something done with the Guardian Greaves.
Yeah, I mean, so far what they've shown us is that is the plan, right? It's just rinse repeat for Newbee.
Yeah.
Looking for 1 or 2 more picks.
I'd be a little bit concerned because it's not that Bane and Nyx don't scale well into the late game, it's that they need those items. And Nyx does have his GPM talent, which is pretty nice, but Bane can be a little bit of like a wet noodle in the late game, and Silencer, on the other hand, he's always going to have global, can stay really far away, and also the Silencer is still in 22 intelligence. Like, he's a smart boy.
Well, Black Sheep, they're still quite a bit behind in gold, though. Now 9k gold lead for Newbee. So despite the fights playing out a little bit in their favor, Newbee has been controlling the economy quite well.
Definitely. I would completely agree with that. And the double Midases is something to be feared. The big worry is that if, like right now, Black Sheep has a really strong timing with their BKBs, right? So if they got into a fight and then you lose that as Newbee, suddenly that gold swings back super hard the other direction. And that's what I'd be worried about if I was Newbee right now. So get BKBs on your cores, get yourself in a position where you can take a fight then.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The bounty's being hunted down 2 and 2, and Black Sheep maybe just looks like they're deciding that they don't want to play the game that Newbee's trying to bring to them. Staying on the other side of the map. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a pressure trade here on both tier 2s. Both sides very careful. Yeah. Nyx being spotted as well.
Doesn't look like they had an observer ward over there, but they should know exactly where they are right now. And likewise, you can see the mirrored rotations happening for both of these teams. Black Sheep need to be careful with their disengage because the Nyx Assassin can catch them out. Also, of course, TPing onto that shrine is a deadly moment.
Bane showing up, does get caught out. Oh, the spear not going to hit just yet. Does get the timing and the stun. That's a lot of damage. And Yamsen picks it up with the Blood Right. And Arena Blood onto the Slark. Dude, they can't target him just yet. They're just waiting.
Global, they canceled the TP onto this.
Wow, okay, it's 5v1. They want to pick up the kill on the Slark.
What
they
was
use
he doing?
everything.
A little bit of a miscommunication there. They TP back on the Darkseer, it looks like, but then canceled this TP, so he had to go back towards the mid lane. And now Newbee are in this really awkward situation. You can go to Roche right now if you want for Black Sheep.
And it looks like that's what they're going to do. They're backing off. Oh, no, they're trying to make up their mind.
Yeah, take down the tier 1, yeah. The danger is that they actually need to deal with bottom lane, too, because Invoker was getting some split push going.
Yeah. It's quite a bit. Invoker now back at base, though, so Black Sheep, what's their choice?
Is under attack.
I think that Newbee thought that Black Sheep was going to back off once they saw the Nyx Assassin retreat, because you can see how much damage was dealt to the tier 3 tower while all of these moves are happening, right?
Yeah.
So they lost a lot of damage on the tier 3, but getting the kill on the Slark, to me, that feels worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really well played with Black Sheep. Very aware and communicating as that Mars cut him out with the Arena of Blood. Slark, no way out. Just had to wait for it.
Yeah. They did pop global for that, so they're a little vulnerable in the next couple of minutes. Still 60 seconds on global. But it doesn't feel like Newbee... I mean, there's no way for Newbee to get up onto this high ground without being seen, right? They would have to make a smoke play, and smoking high ground with no vision is very deadly.
Okay, Slark senses something's off. Needs to watch out.
Oh, use your Midas, man.
Well, Black Sheep just keeping that high ground for themselves, just trying to decide what their next move is going to be, trying to keep an eye out, and that means SCCC is going to just continue pushing that tier 3 on the bottom side.
Yeah, I mean, they can get a good amount of damage onto this. Another round of, creeps onto this tower and just hitting away at it.
Yeah, it's going down. Sammy Boy shows up.
And they lose the tower.
Yep, the tower's gone. So maybe a little bit too much time taken by Black Sheep. So he got the kill, but eventually it turned into a trade against the tier 3. Perhaps at this point, not that worth it. And now they're pushing the racks.
He's got to be so careful here. If Sammy Boy gets caught out and killed,
that could mean a lot of danger. But Nyx Assassin just being patient. I mean, they've tried before with Invoker. Didn't work out quite well. And Sammy Boy now joining his team once again.
That was a heads-up play right there, not popping the Flame Guard. If he does, since they don't see Nyx Assassin, he could just get taken out. But you can see right now, Newbee is hitting another really good timing. They're going to have BKB done on Darkseer, as well as a BKB in Invoker in just a few minutes as well. All of these items combined together, it's going to be hard for Black Sheep to take a fight, because they don't really have that much physical damage at this point in the game. It's mainly Bloodseeker, and even that's not that significant. But you can see they're just holding this high ground, but there's no other objectives to take, and they're losing the range racks.
Yeah, again, too much time. They had a bit of an advantage, but they just stood there. The range racks is very, very low. No answer. Black Sheep all walking back. That's going to be gone. What about the melee racks? They should have enough time to walk back, but meanwhile, we got a couple catches on the backside, so Black Sheep still just can't waltz back to base, and that means the melee racks are being brought down really low. Shadow Demon shows up in time.
Are they going to lose Ember also? No, he's able to get away, but that was so well done. Again, you have these couple of supports. You have Darkseer that's there in the mid lane too. Maybe they get this one kill.
Okay, they try to get the Nyx. They get, the Eul's gets popped up, and then the Impale just to buy some time, but Nyx should still go down. The EMP comes out, try to help. Not enough.
Darkseer is still around this area, but he gets the TP back towards mid. And again, just a very awkward series of events. Like they feel like they want to play around that high ground, but Newbee make the perfect answer, which is to send back the Invoker down to the bottom lane, and then it's kind of hard for the Ember to push out the lane simultaneously because he only has the one TP scroll. He doesn't go for the bots build.
Well, Black Sheep, I think they need to commit a little bit more, Lyrical. I mean, I just feel like they're stalling too much.
It's a little bit weird, right? I think that they want to wait for that next item is what it's kind of feeling like. But at the same time, you need to be taking the rest of the objectives. There's still a mid-tier 2 tower, and with 3 heroes that were in the bottom lane, they didn't feel comfortable moving down there towards mid and taking it. Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. Maybe with the Aghanims on Ember, they feel more confident taking a fight. Maybe they just want to wait for that Radiance. But even a Radiance is kind of scary for the Ember, because now they don't even need Flame Guard to be available for the Spike Carapace to pop.
Dire are scanning.
All right, well, both sides resetting just a little bit. A couple scans coming out. Trying to figure out what the other team's thinking. Of course, that tier 1 in mid's still alive for Black Sheep, but it hasn't meant much. Newbee just working around that, targeting the side lanes.
And this is where things get really scary. Invoker level 20 has the Blink Dagger done with Aghanims and BKB. He is ready to roll. They do have a BKB done on Mars.
Oh, Impale coming out against the Emperor's Spirit. Shadow Demon comes through, but not going to be enough. In fact, they might just get caught both sides. Sammy Boy pops the BKB. He's putting out the damage against Bane. Picks up 1 kill. Sammy Boy, can he come back for cleanup? But it's 1v3. There's too many illusions blocking him in. He's up against the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin getting brought down quite low. Meanwhile, Bloodseeker and Mars shows up. Mars comes in with the Blink, puts down the Arena of Blood. Now they're turning things around. Teleport goes out, and the Sunstrike coming out. Oh, hits 2. Helps pick up 1 kill. Sammy Boy just porting out of there, and now Bloodseeker has to run out. Meanwhile, Invoker just assisting with the Sunstrike, trying to get the racks. Slark just keeping everyone at bay. In fact, might just get the kill.
Oh, run away from there, Bloodseeker. Get the heck out.
Oh, no, just keep running. Run as fast as you ever could. There you go.
I think that Ember should be able to keep him alive. Yeah, they got him.
Okay, all right. Nice little ring around the rosy. Ember shows up, and the Slark now caught out a little too... Oh, actually, Ember being brought down quite low. Slark's just not done. He is not happy with how this game has been going. He's trying to just end it. Right here picks up yet another one.
Oh my god. This is the problem. Slark just becomes a monster, and you can see SECC takes another tower. They took down the melee barracks. He's looking for more.
Oh my gosh, Sammy Boy, you're not free yet. The bounce right on him, and another kill.
Well, this is Slark Dota, ladies and gentlemen. 58 stacks right now of Essence Shift for the Slark.
Gosh.
That is a lot of agility. That is a lot of agility.
Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, he was hitting hard, he was hitting fast, and he just wasn't letting go. And like you said, SCCC, I mean, all he had to do was assist from across the map, and then he's taking another racks.
He really hasn't had to do much this game. It's played itself, basically. And this is the problem, too. You see there was the BKBs revealed, but so much was online because of those early Midases. 8 minutes for the Slark, and he's just had a free game.
Yeah, now the Aegis going on to SCCC on that Invoker. Newbee, I mean, for a while, even with the gold... Uh-oh, Black Sheep getting cut out again. The Tornado comes away through, and there's the EMP. BKB gets popped in time, but Slark just does so much damage right through that. Gets pushed back with the spear, but a teammate gets sacrificed. Oceania gets caught out, and now we do have the Fiends group coming through. Mars taken down as well.
Dude, don't fight right now. He's still got a bunch of those stacks of Agi up for the Slark. Like, you can't fight for the next couple of minutes, and honestly, they're going to just take it to him.
I mean, they definitely can't with another 40 seconds on 2 heroes on the side of Black Sheep. Sammy Boy's going to come out soon, but how much can they do as all members of Newbee start to converge, and they get another catch on the side as the Sunstrike comes through. This is just a massacre in the base against Black Sheep.
He is a monster. You saw the bashes that came out as well in the BKB from the Mars. They don't have an answer for it. Another set of racks. Easy peasy for Newbee, who are continuing to just run a train through this entire WCG group stage.
Yeah, so far 4-0. They've been undefeated. The mail comes out as well. There's just no answer. Newbee, stop it.
They buy back on Ember. He has his BKB still available. You can see the problems that they've got in this draft of they just don't have the physical damage once the BKBs are out there for Newbee. And on the other side, Newbee have a Slark, so if he's able to stay alive, he builds his own physical damage just by stealing it from you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, we talked about the danger of the Slark early on. They
got a Moonshark.
Oh my gosh. They kept him at bay for a little bit, but I really think it was that stalling on the top side of the map. It didn't do much for Black Sheep. And meanwhile, the racks got popped, the gold lead kept growing, and Newbee now rampaging through.
Yeah, it was really tough. And I think the other thing is just the fact that they can sort of trade with the Invoker on the other side of the map, and he just stays farming the entire time.
Yeah, Invoker's just going to get out safely for now with the Tornado. In fact, trying to pick up another kill on the other side. The DD rune coming out for Sammy Boy. He picks up a kill.
He's on the cliff.
And we do see a step. No, nice! They're on the cliff! Onto the cliff with the wall, and Newbee coming in. The Arena of Blood comes out, but that just means you're all caught in there together. Mars needs to get out, and he needs to ditch Sammy Boy. Bloodsinger comes through, but what can you do against the Slark? The Sunstrike coming through as well. Yules dodges the damage, but there's the Impale. That's the GG. And Ace, and we do see an ultra kill for SCCC as Newbee picks up yet another victory.
Oh my god. Unbelievable. Newbee looked super clean in that game. Absolutely everything that they needed to get done, they got done. Gia had an amazing laning stage, and stealing all of that Agi throughout the early stages of the game, finding the kill after kill on Mars, obviously gets to keep that permanent Agi, helps his farming speed, helps his ability to scale into the late game, and Black Sheep, no answer for this one. They're not perturbed though. Look at him. He's okay. He's smiling.
I mean, they had a good start, I feel. Not great, but they had a good start. They were keeping up with the ideas they had in the draft that you mentioned, Lyrical. But eventually, just kind of the pressure that Newbee was able to put out and keep the advantage they wanted, especially in that gold, right? They were just looking for their timings.
Yeah, it was very well done. I think that it just speaks to like the movement around the map, right? And the recognition that they didn't need to bring that Invoker to the fight over and over again, and they could just make stuff happen. Like, how many times do we just see the Nyx Assassin TP to the shrine up on the top side of the map and then just walk into the jungle and find kills? It was very, very well done, and I think that they had a good plan the entire time. They knew what they needed to do, they executed it. It's a tough one. I felt like this was the best Black Sheep game that we had seen so far, but it still didn't work out for them in the end.
Yeah, and perhaps this speaks a lot to Newbee, now still undefeated here at WCG 2019 Xi'an. And Black Sheep, I believe, by all means of statistics, don't have a chance to qualify for the knockout stage. We'll still have a couple games left over throughout the day, but their morale has to be broken down a little bit. But still well fought.
I would agree. I was really impressed with Gia too in this game on that Slark. I want to see... I mean, there's a lot been said about Newbee and the sort of the problems that they've had this year, but you can see even from this type of a game, right? Like, that it feels as if there's something here that could work with them. It just needs to sort of be refined. All of these players, with the exception of Fenrir and SCCC, are still relatively new to the circuit,
right?
So maybe more room to grow in the future.
Yeah, but I mean, SCCC and Fenrir obviously kind of anchoring that team down as well. You talked about that before we got into game, and also, I mean, even the Nyx Assassin, I think early on was maybe a little cautious, just playing it out carefully. But like you said, once he started getting that pattern, was just rampaging through the enemy jungle.
I mean, he did the perfect skill build, right? It was just all Spike Carapace, all Impale, run at people, and just punch them. The other, sort of unmentioned MVP, the Mr. Banana Man himself.
Yeah.
Watching out in the crowd, I'm sure, and giving his cheers along the way.
Yeah, again, I mean, Coach is not allowed in the booth once they start the draft, but obviously they can still be here with their team, and they can guide them through the tournament. So Newbee, now undefeated. Black Sheep hasn't been able to get a win, but hopefully they can pick up a win here or there before they exit the tournament. They can't qualify for the knockout stage anymore, but I think now it's all eyes on Newbee.
Yeah.
All eyes on Newbee, and of course, C-Deck has to win a couple other games if they want to secure a chance at the knockout stage as well. I believe we're waiting for the next game. We should be staying here on the Game Sports stage for another match of Dota 2. We'll be waiting to confirm which two teams will be entering the stage. But things have been shaken up a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree so. I think that the ones I'm really looking forward to watch also are Hippomaniacs. This is a team that you're so excited. You just love the name, I'm sure.
That's really it. The logo's great, too.
Yeah, it's really good.
But they've also made a good name for themselves. Not the team name, but how they've done
they did
so
make
far.
A good name. Hippomaniacs, yeah.
How they've done in the showings they had.
It was the EU qualifiers where they started to really garner a lot of love from the community.
Yeah.
I watched them through the open qualifiers as well, and it's a team that I don't know, whenever you have these teams that kind of come together from a particular country, you always wonder, are they going to stay together? You think about the examples, Ad Finum, Kingwin from Poland, and at least to me, this feels like it's one that could run the distance as well.
Yeah, I'd love to see them do really well. We should, by schedule, that should be the next team we're watching. It should be Hippomaniacs versus Team Germany. And Hippomaniacs have, I believe they have a win so far in this tournament. We'll see how they do as they come up. We can pull up the record right now and just double check. But we're just waiting for the teams. Of course, we do need to swap. It's Dota to Dota, so we can't have 50 booths on stage. It's the same 5v5 booth.
We do have more than most of them, though. There's the single player booths as well, right behind us.
Yeah, and quite frankly, the setup at WCG has been quite good in terms of just keeping in mind that, the moving from stage to stage can be a little bit cumbersome for the players and sometimes the casters, but with keeping in mind that this is for 7, 8, 9 different games, they're just trying to make sure that every game gets a chance in the spotlight at different stages, and I think they've done what they could.
I mean, to be honest, we play and watch and talk about video games for a living. We can walk to a different stage.
We've had that line this morning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, it should be Hippomaniacs versus Team Germany for Dota 2 here at WCG 2019.